morning, everyone. It's Sal, Stretford Post. How you doing? And welcome to another episode of Breaking Dawn. I hope you're doing good. Hope you're doing fine. Thank you, guys, for joining me this morning, guys. It is match day. It's match day, guys. We are here live to build up to what is a very, very important game for Manchester United, of course. One of the most important games. It is every week the most important game for Manchester United, of course. But it's, you know what? Honestly, it's even more important now because at the end of the day, I honestly think that we need to win today. I'll be honest, guys. I'm going to say it real. I think we need to win. I don't care about how difficult Crystal Palace is going to be. I don't really care about that now. I just care about Man United winning. I'm fed up with the excuses, and I just want to win. And I think that is what we should be aiming to do today. By hook or by crook, we need to find a way to win that game today. And I think it's very important that we try and win now because obviously, you know, we're not going to live forever, guys, and we need to start winning football matches. And that is what it's all about at the end of the day. Man United against Crystal Palace, of course. Crystal Palace and Torres, it's been a difficult game for us, but so what? We need to go out there and prove who we are. We are Manchester bloody United, for goodness sake. And we need to go out there against Crystal Palace today and make sure that we show them who we are. Not that, oh my goodness, we're playing Crystal Palace at Selhurst Park. We're going to lose. We're going to get cooked. Not interested in none of that business. I honestly not interested in none of the pessimism or anything like that, or the loser sort of a cowardly mentality that some people have. I don't have that. I'm sorry. We may lose the game. Of course we may. That's football. Anything can happen in football. But one thing's for certain, I'm not going to be fearful of Crystal Palace. Definitely not going to be fearful of Croydon FC. You know what I mean? Did you know that Crystal Palace Stadium, you know, there's a Sainsbury's just right in the stadium? Do you know what I mean? It's just a little club. It's a little club from Southeast London. That's all they are. And that's how we have to see it, guys. All right. And I used to live in Croydon. So there you go. Right. So at the end of the day, what we have to do is not be fearful of what they are. We don't need to pray. We don't need to be scared. And we just have to go out there and say, we are Man United. We're winning because we are Man United. And that is what it all should be today, regardless of anything else. I don't want to hear any pessimism. I don't want to hear any excuses. I don't want to hear nothing at the end of the day because, yes, they got some good players. So have we. So have we. Let's think about us as well. So have we got good players. We've got good players as well. So at the end of the day, look, you know what the most important thing for us to do is like, you know what, be positive for the game. You know what? It's going to be difficult. I know it's going to be difficult. I'm not saying that we're going to go out there and actually polarize them. It's going to be difficult. But you know what? One thing's for certain, we're going to stay positive. And we're not going to bring in too much pessimism. We are going to lose, sort of people. You know what I mean? We are. No ins, no outs, no draws, no nothing. We are going to lose. And that is something that I heard before the Liverpool game. Well, you all remember when the Liverpool game before it came around, everyone was saying we are going to lose. And I think I'm the only one. I mean, out of a couple of people on the stream, I'm the only one who said that we can beat Liverpool on that time, guys. I really did. Absolutely. And we did the business. And you know what? This team is capable of doing things you least expect. This is what they do. This team is capable of doing things that you least expect them to do. They'll do something that you think, wow, how did we win that? We won that game. How did we win that? Do you know what I mean? And this is something that, you know what, we need to think about today, of course. Big up the community. I hope you're all doing well. Welcome, everyone. Hope everyone is blessed, of course, guys. Let me just say, Cunha back? Nope, not back yet, mate. Not back yet. He had concussion, I believe. Morning, Daryl, by the way. Good to see you. Morning, Sal. We must win, mate. We need to go all guns blazing. I agree, mate. We have to win. So big up, Benny. Big up. Hope you're doing well. Big up, Kenny. Hope you're doing well. Good to see you. Good to see you, Kenny. Good to see you, Sanjay. Good morning. Hope you're doing well as well, guys. Thank you so much for joining me today, this morning, of course, guys. Look, it is match day, guys. We're getting in the vibe. We've had a bad week. And what made it even more horrible and bitter is the fact that Everton's FA Cup final was last week. That was against Man United. And as soon as they play someone mediocre, so to speak, they get smashed. And look, this is nothing to do with Man United. Of course, Everton, because of, I know that we played badly, but at the end of the day, look at the way Everton folded against Newcastle. This is what some of these teams do. That's how I said last week. Guys, before the Everton game, I said it last week. This is David Moyes' final. This is his final. Now he's done for the season now. He's done. That's it. He beat Man United. Anyone would think, and it's exactly what Alex Ferguson said back in the late 90s, anyone would think that beating Man United is what it's all about. And that's it at the end of the day. And I'm going to stick by those guns because I know Man United played poorly. But boy, oh boy, Everton fought for that game as well, guys. And they did not fight yesterday. And look at Spurs against Fulham as well. Goodness me. I mean, look, we partly got ourselves to blame. Of course we are. We should have more points. Ruben Amorim is right. We should have more points. Absolutely, we should have more points, especially the teams that we've lost against and we've drawn against and things like that. We do need more points, of course, guys. Now, let me get into some transfer news, of course, for you guys, if you don't mind. Guys, I've got a couple of news about a Brazilian left back currently playing for Santos in Brazil. He is a Brazilian under-17s international, 12 caps for the Brazil under-20 and under-17s. Playing for Santos currently, 19 years old, left back, highly recommended. Barcelona are also interested in Sal, so the under-17 international, and he would set us back around 3 million euros. But that could, of course, increase once Manchester United come calling or any other major club come calling as well. So Souza, S-O-U-Z-A, and he is a player who plays for Santos, left back, Brazil under-21, under-17s, not under-21s anymore, is it? It's under-17s, and he's got 12 caps for the Brazil under-17s. Very, very talented player. Left back. Now, it does beg the question, isn't it? Because we brought in Patrick Dorgu, of course, and obviously Ruben Amorim wants his own players, and this is the thing, isn't it? This is when you bring new managers in. The new manager's going to want his own player and everything. And it does look like Ruben Amorim does want his own players in there, and he wants his own team. And I don't blame him for that. Absolutely. Another piece of information in regards to transfers, guys. I spoke about it a few weeks ago. Is Tino Livramento, who plays for Newcastle United, 23-year-old right back, left back, and right midfield. 40 million, he's going to set us back. Obviously, he's a Premier League player, currently playing for Newcastle United, England international, 12 caps. Very, very good player. Can play on that right wing back position because he can play right midfield. Ruben Amorim is said to be a huge fan and would stop at nothing to get Tino Livramento. He wants Tino Livramento at Manchester United. He's obviously seen something very special in Tino Livramento. And yeah, look, we know he's a good player. I don't think he's a phenomenal player. I don't think he's one of those players that are going to get you out your seat and stuff like that. But Livramento is a good player. 12 caps for England. You don't get 12 caps for England for nothing, of course. And 40 million euros is going to set Man United will probably get him for about 50 million. But yeah, Man United, it's quite obvious, are looking at the wing-back situation. They are looking at the balance of the side. They're looking at players that can attack, that can defend at the same time. Now, when you look at Livramento, right, and the difference between someone like Livramento and someone like Ahmad is that Livramento is a specialist wing-back, right? He can defend. He's a specialist at defending, and he can move the ball forward, and he can create. Yes, guys, I know you're screaming at me on the screen. He's injury prone. He's got lots of injuries. He's injury prone. I know that he's injury prone. That is obviously a big concern. But one thing I would say is that when he's fit, this player is a very, very good player, and he's a very, very capable player playing on that wing-back position. He will be absolutely fantastic playing on that wing-back position for Manchester United, of course. So Tino Livramento, very, very big one, of course, guys, happening at the moment. And that's one to keep an eye on. Man United are looking to revamp that right-hand side. They're also looking to revamp that left-hand side because I'll be honest with you guys, a lot of the players that we highly rate are just simply not good enough. And I'll be honest with you guys. I'm going to give you the brutal honesty. Our players are not good enough. Some of them are not good enough. And even if it's your favorite player, he's not good enough. And we have to say that, guys. And when we're talking about the grand scheme of things, we're talking about the bigger picture. We're talking about, you know, the whole season. Our players are not good enough for a whole season. Absolutely not. Of course, I spoke yesterday about Anderson, about Manchester City being interested in Anderson. And this has sparked Manchester United into life. For goodness sake, we shouldn't have to be sparked into life, but this has sparked Manchester United into life in regards to the Anderson deal. The Anderson deal could be moved forward to January because Man United want to get a foothold in this deal and prevent Manchester City coming in with an offer because obviously, guys, Manchester City are a more attractive proposition at the moment. When you're looking at Man United, we have to be realistic. We can't be delusional. These teams, Arsenal, Man City, Chelsea, Liverpool, maybe not Liverpool now, but other teams are a more attractive proposition than us. So what Man United need to do, if they want to get Anderson through the door, they're going to have to work quickly, guys. They're going to have to get a deal struck quickly and stop wasting time, stop beating around the bush and start getting things done quickly because at the end of the day, we will miss out on targets. And I stressed yesterday about Declan Rice when we didn't want to pay the money for Declan Rice. Everyone was saying that Declan Rice is too much money, you know, and we just didn't go for it. And obviously, do you think now that Arsenal are regretting signing Declan Rice? Absolutely not. Of course they're not. You know, so at the end of the day, he's probably worth more than that now. Probably is, you know. So, yeah, Man United are looking at Anderson, and Anderson could be moved forward. He does look like he's top of the tree in regards to that midfield position, alongside Adam Wharton and Carlos Baleba, of course, who Carlos Baleba we've spoken about a million times on this channel, of course, still wants to sign for Man United. The key thing, and I'll bring in Carlos Baleba, because the key thing about Carlos Baleba is that Carlos Baleba wants to come to Man United. He's desperate to come to Man United. It's pretty evident from his performances that he's desperate, on his knees, to come to Manchester United. But at the end of the day, you know, he has to pick up his performances, obviously, and he also be looking at his performances, you know, and they'll be like judging it based on, you know, your performances. If you want to come to Man United, your performances have got to be better and stuff like that, of course, guys. And that's what we would say, you know. So, yeah, let's wait and see what happens to that. Let's play that by ear, of course, guys. Big up everyone. Hope everyone is good here. I hope everyone is blessed, by the way. Thank you, everyone who's joining me today. Guys, big up Banter. What's going on, my friend? Hope you're doing well. High Line for life. We got this, mate. High Line for life. We don't play High Line. We never got that. We never play. Found your channel because of Rasta Stocks. He speaks very good things about you when he goes live. Big up Rasta Stocks, by the way. Rasta Stocks is a legend, my brother. Thank you, Banter. Big up yourself. Look, me and Rasta, we think similar. But yeah, look. You know, one thing is, right, I told Rasta before Eric Ten Hag was sacked, and I spoke about it before, you know, all the Ruben Amorim situation happened and stuff like that. I said that sacking a manager is not going to do us any good. And lo and behold, here we are. And we could sack Ruben Amorim. I don't think it's going to do us any good. I know, guys. I know it's a results game. I know it's a results business. I know what happens in football. I know that we have to get results. I'm not delusional in regards to that. But there are fundamental problems at Manchester United that stem very deeply beyond what the football is and stuff like that. Do you know what I mean? And I just feel like the board, the Ineos and the Glazers, they need to get the finger out and they need to start supporting Ruben Amorim, not a 4 out of 10 window. They need to actually support him. So I'm mentioning all these players here. I'm mentioning all the players that we have on our transfer wish list. And I'm just hoping that, you know what, he can be backed in January, because I know you can bet your bottom dollar that Liverpool, Chelsea, Man City, Arsenal are going to be backed in January. They're going to have players coming in, and they will move further away from us, of course. So it's very important. I don't want to hear any excuses from Ineos. I don't want to be hearing any excuses. I want them to back him and prove that they're backing the manager. Absolutely. Revert 7, good morning. How you doing? Hope you're doing well. Morning, Sal. Bitterly disappointed after the Everton game, but today is a new day, a new game. The great thing about football, Revert 7, right, is that it can change within a week, isn't it? You know, what annoyed me even more about the Everton game, Revert 7, is the way that Everton capitulated against Newcastle United yesterday, which was very disappointing in my opinion. It was awful to see, because obviously I looked at Everton and they weren't that bad last week. I know we were poor. I know, but Everton weren't that bad last week. And this is exactly what I said last week, that managers like David Moyes, their whole season revolves around beating Man United. That's their season. Even when David Moyes was the manager at Everton, he was the same at West Ham. He was doing the same thing. Beating Man United is the most important thing for him. You know what I mean? At the end of the day. Big up, Revert 7. Good to see you. Come on, big up, my friend. There is no way we can be as bad as Monday evening. We need a response today. Absolutely, Benny. We need a response today. I don't want to be hearing anything at the end of the game. Disappointments. I'm tired of it now. We need to win football matches, guys. We're a quarter way through the season. We need to start winning football matches. And I don't want to be hearing anything. That it's a process. I don't care anymore. I think Man United need to win. We got this season. The season's going to be going into the latter stages. And then we're going to be too many points behind to actually to get into the Champions League. Do you know what I mean? So, yeah, we need to start winning football matches. And, you know, these type of games, these difficult games away to Crystal Palace and teams like that, these are difficult games. We know that they're difficult games. But, you know, what I would say is this, right? These are where you are proven. This is where you have to do the business. It's the business end. These are the business games where you beat Crystal Palace away. You know, you beat Tottenham away. You beat these teams away. You beat them. And then you get yourself an advantage, you know. No, look, Tottenham have lost yesterday. It's a chance to get further away and stuff like that and start getting up that league. So today, everyone is expecting us to drop some points today. Everyone is expecting us to drop points today, guys. All of our rivals are saying you're gonna draw or lose against Crystal Palace. Let them think that way. Let us prove the narrative wrong, and let's just try and get this going, guys. Absolutely. Big up, Banter. By the way, I am here to watch and support. Thank you so much, my bro. Thank you. Really appreciate you, my friend. Daryl Cunha available for West Ham game. Yeah, he had a little bit of concussion, guys. So obviously, with the new regulations in regards to the Premier League, when there's a head injury, you have to be very careful, because apparently he passed out. Apparently he fainted. So So, look, you have to be careful and you have to look after the player. Number one, of course, guys. Disappointed for this game in particular because obviously away to Crystal Palace, I'd much rather have him at Crystal Palace away than West Ham at home. But you know what? It is what it is. And I wish him a speedy recovery as well, my friend. Daryl, same lineup as it's going to be. Xerxes needs to show up today. Look, at the end of the day, Daryl, absolutely right. Xerxes does need to show up. I know people have been singing about Xerxes should play, Xerxes should play. You know what? I know that he hasn't played in 10 games. It's very difficult to go off to 10 games and play after 10 games and go off again. It's very difficult to do things like that, when you're a footballer. But one thing you have to do, just like Ole Gunnar Solskjaer and many other players did, is that when you play, you make something happen. You show the manager why I should be playing. You've been playing football all your life. Show us how good you are. Do you know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, he was an absolute slob on the pitch against Everton. He was, as was many other players there. No player in that game who hasn't played for a while exerted themselves to the level that I wanted them to exert itself. Of course, I understand context. Guys, I do look at context and I do understand that these players haven't played enough and a consistent run of games would be sufficient, would be ideal. But obviously, you can't get that. So if you can't get the consistent run of games, you're going to have to make something happen when you get on that pitch, even if it's a tackle, if it's a goal, if it's an assist, if it's just a clearance off the line, anything like that, make the crowd go up and show the manager that, yeah, look, I should be playing. Do you know what I mean? Swappy, what's going on? Swapnil, what's going on, my friend? I'll be doing well. I don't give up before the game, but I'm not confident either. Their wing backs are better. Wharton and Kamada will open Bruno and Casemiro. Our manager will not play two left-footed 10, so I am not happy. I'm not very confident. Swapney, I heard these comments from the Liverpool game before the Liverpool game. I don't agree with it. I'm confident every time I watch Man United. Because I don't know what Man United are going to turn up. We can beat Chelsea, we can beat Brighton, we can beat Sunderland, but when we go and we've seen how good Sunderland are, by the way, and we beat them comfortably. I agree with you in regards to the midfield. I think the midfield is not good enough, and I think it can be exposed. I do believe that Bruno is not a number 8. Casemiro's got no legs. And I do believe Man United needed to fix that midfield. But again, this is not a managerial issue. This is a Ineos issue. This is a Glazer issue that we should have addressed in the summer, not now. You know, do you think if Ruben Amorim had Adam Wharton and Anderson at his disposal right now to pick for himself, do you think he'll put Bruno in midfield? I don't. You know what I mean? I don't think he'll pick Casemiro in midfield. I don't. You know, so at the end of the day, what they should have done is backed him. I am a little bit pessimistic in regards to the midfield. I am a little bit concerned about the midfield, and you'd be stupid not to be concerned about the midfield. The midfield is a problem. The wing backs are the problem. But this is something we said in the summer. This is nothing new to me, my friend. Nothing new to me. This is something that I was speaking about in the summer, that we need to get that sorted out. We need to go, because we're going to come in a couple of months. We're going to be talking about Man United and the wing backs and the midfield and stuff like that. We know that. You know what I mean? At the end of the day. But all we can do, Swap Neil, is the fact is, right? The fact is that we won some games that we weren't expected to win. And we have gone away to the Emirates and we've won, you know, with 10 men. We've done things like that. So this is why I don't completely discount Manchester United out of this game. I actually think Man United will win the game 2-1. You know what I mean? I don't think Man United will lose the game today. I think they will do all right today. And I hope so, my friend. I hope that way they do well for themselves. Absolutely. But I'm not going to be too pessimistic. Big up, Ephraim. How you doing, my friend? I'll be doing well. Good morning. Good morning. Fuming about that Everton game. I am too, mate. Good morning. What's going on, Tybock? How you doing, brother? Hope you're doing it. It's a hugely important game today. It's a hugely important game today. Look, Man United need to do something today. Man United need to change the narrative. Look, guys, listen, I know that a lot of people were angry about the Everton game last week, but let me put it in perspective. 1 loss in 6 games, okay? Look, at the end of the day, 1 loss in 6 games. That happens sometimes. And as you know, with Everton, let me tell you something about football. And I know a lot of people watch football a long time, but they don't analyze it like I do. At the end of the day, Everton played 2 banks of 4 against Man United. It's very difficult to play against 2 banks of 4. Ask Arsenal in the FA Cup. Ask Arsenal in the FA Cup how difficult it is to play 2 banks of 4. And you know, even if you've got 10 men, you play 2 banks of 4 and sit deep. That's what Man United did. That's what Everton did against us. And that's what we did against Arsenal last season when we beat them in the FA Cup with 10 men. You play 2 banks of 4 and it's not guaranteed that you're going to win the game. I take it back to many games I've watched when teams have played with 10 men. I take it back England against Argentina in 1998 when England played almost the whole game with 10 men against Argentina. And we know that England went all the way to penalties. And Argentina, with the great Batistuta and Ortega and all them players, couldn't break England down. And this is the thing, isn't it? So, look, today will be a different game, I believe. It will be a more open game, I believe. And I hope that now Man United do something. I hope that they change the record, because at the end of the day, we can't keep dropping points. We need to qualify for Europe. It's very important today to qualify for Europe. Teams are dropping points all around us. We got an opportunity. Teams are dropping points all around us. Why not change the narrative today? Why not prove the people around wrong that we can actually beat Crystal Palace in their backyard, of course. Ephraim, big up Tyborg. Sal, today is a big chance to go top 6. Yes, it is. A win today would put us top 6 place, but the question is if we can, we win. I believe we can, but it depends on the will of the players. Every time anyone can win, mate, unless it's mathematically impossible or there's some divine inspiration that comes from space. Man United can win this game. You know what I mean? They can. They've proven that what they can do, Tyborg, you should know. We beaten the likes of Liverpool away when everyone, including yourself, said we're going to lose the game and stuff like that. And there were people coming in saying we're going to lose to Brighton and we're going to lose to Sunderland and we're going to do that. Before a game, on game day, I'm not a pessimistic guy. It's the last person you should ask for if you're searching for pessimism. I'm not that guy. I'm the guy who'll be positive on match day because I believe in positive and energy and stuff like that, which is why I worked in music and was successful. It means energy, positivity. Big up, Kenny. How will we be at this Everton side? My goodness me, it's pretty easy, Kenny. You see football. Football, Kenny. You know, football doesn't deal with absolutes, mate. When you think about football, just because they beat them that much doesn't mean we can beat them that much. Do you know what I mean? Just because we beat Arsenal there doesn't mean we could beat them 5-0. That's not how football works. Everton played 2 banks of 4. Everton played 2 banks of 4 against Man United, which was a low block, a very low block. They played that, right? So that is why Man United couldn't break them down, right? It is up to Man United to break them down, but that's the reason Man United lost to Everton. Okay, so when you're looking at that game yesterday, it was completely different. Everton were at home. They had to go forward. They had to attack. And that left spaces open for Newcastle United, which is why Newcastle scored 4 goals. That's football. It doesn't work like how we didn't beat. That's what those simpletons say on those content creation pages. They're very simpleton when they talk about football. It's actually dumbs you down a little bit. But what you have to say is that, yes, Man United were the victim of their own inability to create. That's true. But losing to Everton was the reason we lost to Everton, because they played a low block with 2 banks of 4. We actually would have done better if Everton attacked us and probably would have picked them off, just like we did last season when we beat Everton 4-0. Everton came forward a little bit. We were probably more likely to beat Everton if we played 11 against 11. That's how football works. Do you know what I mean? Football doesn't always deal with absolutes, of course. Big up, my friend Mark. What's going on, my friend? Glazer's out. Love to see that, mate. Good to see you. Big up, Sal. Big up. Hope you're well, mate. Good to see you. Happy 54th Euro national celebration. We're going to win today. Big up. Happy 54th, guys. Goodness me, I've been here 4 years already. It makes me laugh. Big up. You're in UAE, isn't it, Mark? Yeah, me too. I'm Abu Dhabi, of course. Look, so at the end of the day, look, we're going to win today. Thank you so much, Mark. We're going to win today. No more pessimism. There's no more excuses. We have to go out there and win today. That is what the most important thing is today. Absolutely. Big up, Mark. Good to see you, man. Good to see you, of course. That England-Argentina 1998 was an epic battle. It was an epic battle. But it goes to show you that playing against 10 men is not always easy. And this is what I'm talking about, you know. And Arsenal will tell you that last season in the FA Cup, of course. Benny, good morning. How you doing, my friend? On the upside, Everton again, we still had enough chances to win the game. Only for Pickford had one of those games. He pulled off 2 Benitez. We predicted that before the game as well. Right attitude, we'll win the game. We are Manchester United. Come on, Benny. Love it, my bro. Big up. Come on. Absolutely. Guys, absolutely. Can we match Palace's match intention in the game? Let's see. Let's hope so. That's why we're here. That's the question, isn't it? We will create chances. One thing I will say, Kenny, is that I don't believe in that midfield. And I never have believed in that midfield ever since it was first played. You know, I don't. I think the midfield is too slow. I do think the midfield is too slow. We miss out on the second balls because we're too slow. Bruno's too slow. Casemiro's slow. In Premier League football, you need athleticism and you need pace. You do. Unfortunately, it is what it is in the modern game, and you do need that. Bruno and Casemiro are too slow working together, and I don't know why we haven't seen that yet. I don't know why we haven't seen that yet. But then you have to look at else has he got? Who else has he got? If he doesn't rate Mainu, who else has he got? We ain't got nobody else. And this is exactly why Man United needed to fix that midfield during the summer, of course. We always create chances up. It's up to us to take our chances. Absolutely, brother. Absolutely. Adam Walton is good, yes. Sal, I think Bruno is a problem. He is not disciplined enough to play. I mean, I know that, mate, but we all know that he's going to play today, unfortunately. He will play today, sadly. I don't think he should play. I really don't. I think he should play in the number 10. If he plays, he should play in the number 10 in place of Cunha. I think it should be Cunha, Fernandes and Mbeumo with Xerxes, right? I think it should be that with Mainu moving into that midfield. We all know it should be that. Ahmad moving into the right. We all know it should be that. We know that's what the team should be. But will Ruben Amorim pick that team? This is the thing. He will keep persisting with Bruno Fernandes in that midfield. And whilst and we said it at the beginning of the season, guys, you live and die on your sword, isn't it? At the end of the day in football, you live and die on your own sword, don't you? Because at the end, if he carries on playing Bruno in that midfield against the likes of Wharton and the likes of Kamara and players like that, you're gonna get outwitted, you're gonna get outpaced. I say it like this, guys. Playing an attacking midfielder, stroke striker in the midfield is disrespectful to midfielders, because at the end of the day, when you're a midfielder, you've been playing there your whole career. Your whole career is based around playing in midfield, right? And when you move, like even when remember Rooney moving into midfield, it didn't work, did it? Even though he's got the attributes, he's skillful, he's strong, he weren't a midfielder. And this is the thing. When you disrespect that midfield position, you get unstuck. You get slapped in the face, really, you do. Because being a midfielder is a completely different skill. You need 360 blinkers all around you because you've got players on that side, you've got players on that side, you've got players that. It's the engine of the team. And Bruno's not a midfielder. I don't care how many times people say, oh, you can play Bruno. Bruno plays for Portugal. Maybe he plays an attacking midfielder for Portugal. And this is what we're talking about, guys. And it is what it is. But every single time we go into these games, we're hoping and praying that, we do something like we did against Liverpool. Not bothered about the Everton result. Happens. All that matters is 3 points today morning, my bro. Big up, William. How you doing, brother? I agree. What's done is done. We can't change what the past has done to us. Absolutely. What's done is done. David Moyes got his win, got smacked up yesterday, but got his win last week. We move on. That is football. You move on. And the great thing about football, I've said it many, many times, the great thing about football, the great thing about this magnificent game is the fact that we can go to the next week and we can probably try and win, right? Look, we may lose the game. We may draw the game. Anything can happen in football. But I just don't like putting that in my brain on match day. I don't. When I'm on match day, I'm like, we need to win this game. We're going to win this game. This is what we're going to do. This is how we're going to win the game. We're going to do this. This is only bloody Crystal Palace, Croydon FC. This is what they are. And we need to go out there and beat them, guys. Absolutely. Because, you know what I mean? Irfan is too good for Man United. Man United are too good for you, Irfan. Mark, I'm loving life in Abu Dhabi. Sal, do you see Amorim ever changing, or will he die on his heel? Is it better to stick with him or move on? Stick with him, mate, because I believe his formation and his tactics will work, but he needs to be backed, mate. I can't give an accurate judgment on Ruben Amorim until he's been backed 100%, not a 4 out of 10 window, which we have. When you look at the team, let's be realistic here, Mark, right? Let's look at Dorgu, not his. Dalot, not his. Maguire, not his. Vidic, not his. Euro, not his. Aiden Heaven, not his. Licha Martinez, not his, even though these are decent players anyway. Mazraoui, not his. Casemiro, not his. Bruno, not his. Ahmad, not his. Shall we go on? And we look at that, and you can't make an accurate judgment of the manager until he has his team. Right, and some people will throw this at you. Some people will throw this at you that, oh yeah, but other teams don't get all their good players because other teams don't have aspirations for Champions League football and moving up that league and winning trophies. That is what it is. Chelsea, do you think Chelsea will say, mold those players into a good team? You're not going to get any signings, only 3 or 4, but mold down. You can work with those players, right? Do you think they did that with Chelsea? Do you think they did that with Liverpool? Do you think they did that with Arsenal? Of course they didn't. Like I brought it in yesterday. I brought in the Arsenal team from when Arteta started to right now. There's not one player in that Arsenal team who started when Arteta was there. The only player that was there on the bench, and he played as a left back, he doesn't play there anymore, is Saka, right? That's the only one, right? And he was from the youth team. Now, you look at what we're doing, we seem to hug on to players for years and years and years. We got Luke Shaw, who's been playing since 2014. For goodness sake, when Luke Shaw signed for Man United, I had no grey hairs. That's how long these players have been playing for Manchester United. It's ridiculous. You know what I mean? Yeah, I totally agree with you. How much money and time would you give him? 600 million. It depends how much they spend on him, my friend Mark, my bro. At the end of the day, it depends how much they spend on him. If they spend 600 million, then okay. All right. Now he's got no excuses. You know what I mean? But at the moment, I'm looking at things, I'm thinking, right, okay, since the Eric Ten Hag left Man United, they've lost Varane, they've lost Rashford, they've lost Anthony, they've lost Sancho, right? And they've lost Rasmus. That's 5 players that Man United have lost, right? And whatever we think about those players, they're squad depth, isn't it? It's squad depth. Now, you think about who Man United brought in. Sesko, injured. Mbeumo, Cunha, injured. And they brought in Lemens last minute, right? That's it. So, and when you're, like, even no matter how we feel about Varane and how we feel about these players, Varane was a very experienced player. And we've lost those players out of the team. They have not backed him. They have not spent any money. They've spent nothing in regard. They probably net spend about 100, 150 million on him. And when you're looking at teams like Liverpool, I know Liverpool done bad and they've done their transfer dealings wrong, in my opinion. But when you look at Liverpool were champions and they still backed them with half a billion. You know what I mean? And we're not even anywhere near that. And this is the problem, isn't it? This is the problem. We have to look at that. A lot of people forget about, they don't want to look at context in regards to everything. And I guarantee you that, you know what, if he was given the tools to succeed with his wing-backs, with his signings, he will be successful. You don't manage a team like Sporting Lisbon, right, who haven't won the league in 20 years, dominate the league title, be undefeated, work in the Champions League as well, not only in the Portuguese league, in the Champions League, beating the likes of Man City 4-0. And you know what I mean? This is what we're talking about. He's not a bad manager. He's when we heard about Ruben Amorim going to Man United, we were all excited. But at the same time, I said it. And I said it when he came into the football club. I said, yeah, but he has to be backed. He has to be backed with the players that we need. And this is why before Ruben Amorim walked into the football club, I was speaking to us blue in the face about we can't play a team with 3 at the back. We can't play a team with 3 at the back. People are like, why? 3 at the back works. Sometimes it works. I said, because you're going to need a whole new team, right? And do you trust Ineos and the Glazers to give Ruben Amorim a new team? And this is the thing. When Ruben Amorim signed, he was my first choice because I believe in him. But I felt that he should have adjusted to the league. But at the end of the day, he plays by his philosophy, and that's fair enough. And this is up to Ineos. That's their man. That's their guy. They have to back him. They had to back him. And to be honest with you, flirting with backing, what they're doing, they're flirting with backing. They're not actually backing. It was wrong, of course. It was, yep. Like and the video, guys, support the homie. Big up, my brother. Big up, Mark. Good to see you, my friend. Big up, and hope you're enjoying Abu Dhabi. I've been here for 4 years now, nearly. William, the manager plays 5 at the back at times, etc., because he don't trust the players, and I don't blame him. He don't have the players, William. Now, look, guys, I want to bring this into you, guys. When people keep mentioning that 5 at the back, right? Number one, he plays Ahmad. Ahmad's not a wing. He's not a defender, right? So at the end of the day, who else has he got at the wing-back positions? Please, I like people to enlighten me. Who has Ruben Amorim got in the wing-back positions to play and attacking wing-back positions? Please tell me. I would like these people to enlighten me. Who has he got? Ahmad isn't a wing-back. He's playing Ahmad as a wing-back, right? You got Dorgu and Shaw or Diego Leon, who are inexperienced or too old and legs are gone, right? On the right-hand side, you got Dalot, who we all know how rubbish Dalot is. You know, guys, this is the thing. People don't look at things in context. They just look at things from their own narrative that, you know, he plays 5 at the back. Why does he do that? It doesn't necessarily play 5 at the back. The players are scared and they force back into a 5 at the back. They go back into a 5 at the back because they're too cowardly to go forward. And this is the thing. And this is the thing about when you're dealing with Mandem talking about football. It's Mandem talk. Mandem talk about football. That's why Mandem never manage football teams. Mandem don't manage football teams because Mandem have a very simplistic view on football. And that's a fact. You know, Mandem talk. I kick football in goal, 1-0. That is their talk. That is their philosophy of football. You know what I mean? At the end of the day. You know what I mean? So Mandem, listening to Mandem talking about football, listening to them talking about 5 at the back, I'd rather listen to my grandma talking about football. And she don't watch football. You know, than listen to them because they base their whole argument around narratives, around buzzwords, around anger, around hype. You know what I mean? They base it all around that, around banter. They don't base it around football ideology, football knowledge, context, what goes on in the football club. There's too many people analyze football simplistically. You know what I mean? Yeah, they analyze football simplistically. They're too simplistic with their footballing opinions, and they don't look at things from above. And I'm not saying this, guys, and I want to stress this, guys. I really do. I want to stress this to you guys. I'm not Ruben Amorim in, get him in. He's the future. He's the next Alex Ferguson. I'm not saying that. I'm in the middle. I understand things from both points of view, as long as that point of view is constructive, and as long as that point of view relates to context and has an intelligent footballing opinion. I always look at that, right? All I want, guys, is to beat Man United to be successful. Of course I do. And if I had the magic wand right now that knew how to make magic with or without Ruben Amorim, I will click my fingers and say, yeah, make it happen. Because at the end of the day, that's all I care about at Man United. I care about winning football matches, right? But we have to look at why we're not winning football matches. And as I said with Erik ten Hag, right? As people, again, demand them, right? Where they were talking about, sack him, get him out of my club, get that fraud out of my club, blood, ball fraud. You know what I mean? Demand them, right? Again, talking about the football in a very simplistic, dumbed down version of football. And this is what I said. I said, when Erik ten Hag leaves, nothing's going to change. Oh, watch. Anyone can win the title with it. Remember this, guys. People were saying that the next manager, that team is title winning challenges, right? So how many managers are going to not win the title with these bunch of frauds? How many of them are not going to win the title with that players? Absolutely. And you know what? It's just madness. Euro came for Varane. Yep. Euro's good. Manager needs backing from the club. Feel sorry for the guy. Yeah, me too, William. Me too. Euro de Ligt is coming for Varane. They're both very good, Euro and de Ligt. It's not the defense is not the problem at Man United. Let me tell you that right now. William, de Ligt and Varane have been a good pair. It would have been, but Varane is injury prone, Mark, and he's old. As you saw with Como. The big problem is money in the transfer market. Man United need more player, and the money, because of Ineos. We would have had Qatar in charge of Man United, and we would have had finances to build the team. That's why I gave Ineos a 6 out of 10. That's generous, mate. Summer and the window. Why is it a 6 out of 10, mate? At best, Sal. At best, others said it was good window, but it was incomplete, in my opinion. Half done. So maximum 5. It was half done. So when you let me just give you an example with verse 7. When you get rid of Varane, regardless how we feel about these players, right? Hear me out, right? Let me land, right? When you get rid of players like Varane, Anthony, Rashford, Sancho, Rasmus, right? That's 5. 5 players out of the team. We've replaced those players with Sesko, Mbeumo, Cunha, and Lamens. 4. 5 out of 5. 4 out. 5 out, 4 in, right? So where's the 6 out of 10? Where's the 6 out of 10? We weakened our squad. Yes, I agree. Cunha, Mbeumo, and Sesko will be good players. They're good signings. But our squad is not better. This is tops, in my opinion. And I said it at the beginning, and most experts say it, 4 out of 10 window. Where's the left wing back for Ruben Amorim? Where's the right wing back for Ruben Amorim? Where's the central midfielder for Ruben Amorim? Where's the other central midfielder for Ruben Amorim? Why did you sign the goalkeeper last minute? We wouldn't have lost to Arsenal if we signed a goalkeeper earlier. Do you know what I mean? What about that? And then you think about in regards to the squad. Where's the squad players? Where's the quality and depth? Where's that? And then you look at things and you think, well, they haven't done nothing really, have they? All they've done is sign a few attacking players and said, right, work with that. It's all right. You know what I mean? Work with that. It's all right. Let's not forget, it was Ineos and the board who wanted to keep Bruno Fernandes. You know what I mean? At the end of the day. And maybe, just maybe, we would have been a better team as a unit without him, obviously. And this is what I'm talking about. This is why it was a 4 out of 10 window. 6 out of 10, absolutely not. 6 out of 10 if they bought a wing back or they bought a right wing back. That would have been a 6 out of 10. They have absolutely flopped this window, and their transfer activity during the summer was criminal, in my opinion, for Ruben Amorim, especially a guy that they bought in. Their guy is their guy, and then they know that he plays a distinctive style of football. What should have been done? I said it, guys. I said it before, and I say it again. All right, you look at Mikel Arteta's team when he came into Arsenal. Let me just write this. All right, I'm going to show you this, guys. I'm going to show you this here. I showed you guys yesterday, right? I'm going to show you this. I just want to show you this quickly, all right? So when we look at this, like, let me put this up. Okay. So I'm going to share this with you now, guys. Let me just put this up, okay? So I'm going to put this up. Yeah, so let's do this. Right. This here was the Arsenal team that he inherited. The Arsenal team that Mikel Arteta inherited when he came to Arsenal, right? When he came to Arsenal. Now, you look at that team, okay? None of those players, apart from Saka playing as a left back, are currently at the football team now, right? But Saka was a youngster playing as a left back, right? But you look at Luiz no longer, Socrates, Leno, Maitland-Niles, Xhaka, Torreira, Aubameyang, Ozil, Nelson, Lacazette. There is not one player there, apart from Saka, who was a left back then, who he converted into a winger, at the football club now. Now now you look at this, right? These players started leaving the club at Arsenal after a year. They started being drifted out of the team, right? We've still got players playing for Manchester United who've been at Manchester United for 15 years, right? This is what we're talking about, okay? So we need to move on from what has been. We need to move on from these players. And that is what backing is. That is what backing is. Right? We still got Dalot, we still got Shaw, we still got Maguire, we still got Bruno, we still got Casemiro, we still got Mason Mount, we still got these players. You know, so what are we going to do? Just pretend that and hope that they're going to become prime Brazil all of a sudden, or prime Barcelona all of a sudden? You're going to change the spots in a leopard? As I said last week, people say you can mold players into good players if you're a good manager. You cannot mold what has already been molded. You cannot mold a Michelangelo sculpture if it's already molded, right? Unless you burn it down and stuff, it's not going to be the same, isn't it? It's ridiculous. These players are what they are. They're not going to improve. So the Maguires, the Dalots, the Shaws, they're not going to improve. So the only thing that would help Ruben Amorim is a complete revamp of the team, a complete rebuild of the team. That is what is needed, and that is what Arteta has done. Yes, Arteta has not won anything at the moment, but you know that Arteta is going to win something, and he will win something. Guys, he will. He has a very, very good football team structure there. It's not about having the best players. It's having a structure, a team that he has built with the backing of his board. We have not been backed. We've had a 3 or 4 out of 10 window. That's all we've had at the end of the day, and we have to be honest with that. Where were we? Morning, Dan. What's going on, Dan? Hope you're doing well. Morning, Sal. Looking forward to this game with Palace to see what we learn from the Everton game. I don't think these players, as I said, new tricks and old and all that. Absolutely. William, the manager is stuck between a rock and a hard stone. What was shite owners and a few shite players. That's what I mean. At the end of the day, look, he's trying his best to do something that what Cristiano Ronaldo said. Cristiano Ronaldo said it right. He said he's doing a miracle. They want him to do a miracle, you know, and this is exactly what it is. Now, Ruben Amorim can help himself. That's true as well. Ruben Amorim can help himself. Now, I know he's the manager. I know he sees his players in training every single day. I know that, you know, but he can help himself. But how can he help himself? Don't play Bruno in the middle. Play Bruno as an attacking midfielder. Move Ahmad to the right. Play Mainu in the middle. Do that. You know, Mainu and Ugarte, Mainu and Casemiro. That would work better, in my opinion. It would. It'd be more balanced, in my opinion. Do that. Look, guys, if you're being honest, guys, if you're being real, let's be real here, right? If you had Adam Wharton of Crystal Palace versus Bruno or versus Mainu, what is, in your eyes, in your mind, going to have a better competition? Mainu. It's Mainu, because Mainu's a proper midfielder. Mainu will be able to outwit Adam Wharton. Let's not forget, Mainu got in the England squad ahead of Adam Wharton. He got in the England team ahead of Adam Wharton. You know what I mean? This is what we're talking about here. So At the end of the day, we need to look at this, and this is what Ruben Amorim needs to do. Because Ruben Amorim, as I said, are not absolute in my opinions. I don't say that Ruben Amorim is the guy, and I don't care what he does. He's always right. He's not. He makes mistakes. And if he wants to fix this, or have the best opportunity to fix this, he needs to move Ahmad to the wing, move Bruno in a number 10, and move Mainu into that midfield, in my opinion, right? And maybe, just maybe, we'll have more balance, and maybe we'll might have more points, guys. I actually think we would. I actually think we would have beat Spurs. I actually think we would have beat Forest. I actually think we would have won these kind of games. We probably would have won against Fulham as well, and these teams as well, guys. But he has to do this. But unfortunately, I know, he is a stubborn manager. He is stubborn, and he will play Bruno in the middle. He will play Ahmad as a number 10, and he'll probably do that and play Dalot as the right, guys. And if he does that, I can't help him. I can't help him. I want him to succeed. And yes, I know that the board haven't backed him, but you have to give yourself the best opportunity as possible to do the right things, right? Do the right things of what you have. We can't cry about the window because done is dusted, right? It's done. We need to say that, right, Ruben Amorim needs to do the right thing for what's best for the club, in my opinion, for the team, in my opinion. And that is playing Mainu in the middle, playing Ahmad on the wing, playing Bruno as an attacking midfielder, right? Then you can have Mbeumo and Xerxes as the players up there as well, if you wish to do that, of course. Or bring in Chido Obi Martin and play Chido Obi Martin up front or someone like that. And you know what I mean? And do something different. Don't play Luke Shaw, play Aiden Heaven. Right? Or if you don't play Aiden Heaven, play Mazraoui. Luke Shaw's not been playing well. Luke Shaw's been poor. Surprise, surprise. Many of us could have said that many, many years ago, of course, guys. Big up William, by the way. We should feel lucky to have Amorim still when you think about how bad this club is run. You know what I said, William? At the end of last season, I said Ruben Amorim should walk. And the reason I said he should walk is because I said if he doesn't get back to at least 8 out of 10, I think he should walk. And I said this at the time, and I still believe this. He should have walked because you're as you said there, you're caught in between a rock and a hard place, and that's true. What can you do with the players that you got? You can't turn. I've said it many, many times. You can't turn Peter Crouch into prime Ronaldinho. You know what I mean? If a manager came in and said, "Right, lads, Maguire, I want you to play like prime Costa Curta or Alexandro Nesta." Okay, right. Casemiro, I want you to play like prime Roy Keane. All right, brilliant. All right. Bruno, I want you to play like prime Paul Scholes. Okay, brilliant. Yeah. All right, let's go to the attacking side of things. Right. Oh, okay, right. Sesko, I want you to play like Andy Cole. Right. I want you to. You can't do that, can you? At the end of the day, you can't do that. It's impossible. You need your own players. You need your own players. You need your players. I mean, obviously Sesko is, but you know what I'm saying. We've had said Ineos signings have been dodgy as well. Ugarte hasn't performed, and Dorgu is clearly not ready. At the moment, even Amorim admits he looks anxious. It's very difficult. And this is one thing I said Revert 7 the other day about Shea Lacey. And people were talking about Shea Lacey coming into the team against Everton. And I've spoken about this many, many times. And I reiterate, a guy who's worked in football, a guy who manages a youth football team and stuff like that, I would say this is very, very dangerous to play a youth player in an environment that is toxic. If you have a youth player that, is highly talented and stuff like that, really good player, if you bring him into a game, you can actually destroy his career. For example, if you brought him in a game against Everton and Man United lose 1-0 against 10 men and blah, 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 it's going to affect Shea Lacey mentally. To bring in players, young players in particular, including Dorgu, by the way, he's only 20. Let's not forget this, guys. Dorgu's only 20. Patrice Evra hadn't even have signed for Monaco at 20, right? Get in perspective, right? So he's 20 years old. It's too early for him to be in there. He's not being nurtured. He's just thrown into the deep end, just like Rasmus and just like Sesko have been thrown into the deep end. You have to score goals. You have to defend. You have to cross. You have to do this. You have to do that. It's very, very difficult. It's almost an impossible job. What Manchester United they needed a Dorgu. Of course, they're young, they're talented, they're going to be great players in the future. But Man United needed a DiMarco. And I said it at the beginning a year ago, before this became a popular narrative. Man United needed a DiMarco. Man United needed an experienced few players that you could nurture from as well. Players that are strong, that are, have played in the Premier League or played in top European football like DiMarco has, and players like that. This is why, obviously, you look at what Ruben Amorim wanted. Ruben Amorim in the summer wanted Ollie Watkins, and some people were laughing at that. Why do we want Ollie Watkins? Quite obvious, because he's experienced in the Premier League and was set the ground running straight away. You know, and this is what we're talking about. Why do Man United want Timo Livramento? Why do they want him? Because he's proven in the Premier League and he can play for England and he can play on that right wing back position and fit in like a glove, unlike Dalot. And this is what we're talking about. So, look, the manager's not exempt from all blame, but, you know, you have to look at the board. And I really question people who don't come on this stream and mention the board. I question your allegiance to Manchester United, because what the Ineos are and what the Glazers are, they have been a poison. They are a poison to this football club, and we have to say that, you know. So you can blame the manager for certain things, like I've just said about Mainu, about Bruno, about Ahmad. You can blame him for certain things, but you can't blame him for the 3 out of 4 at 10 window, you know, which is the most important thing that he doesn't have. He doesn't have the players that, you know, I mean, are necessary there. Now, look, I hope that Man United beat Crystal Palace today. I believe that they will beat Crystal Palace today. I really hope so. But as I said earlier, is that Cristiano Ronaldo said it. You're hoping for miracles every single week. You're hoping for him to suddenly turn these players into world beaters and intelligent footballers. That's what you're hoping for. Footballers who've never given up in their career, because they have. Because the majority of that team lost 7-0 to Liverpool. Majority of that team lost 4-0 to Crystal Palace only a couple of years ago. Majority of that team have lost 6-1 to Tottenham at Old Trafford. You know what I'm saying? You know where I'm going with this, isn't it? These players do not have the mentality. And that's what it is. And you can't expect one man to turn the mentality of these players. This is why he needed a new team, a rebuild, an overhaul, and not another overhaul, because we haven't had one overhaul. So how can it be an overhaul? William, basically these owners dropped the manager in the shit and asked him to dig it himself. Some part of me feels like, William, that they're doing this by purpose to take the shine away from them. Do you know that? And it's working, because there are dum-dums out there. There are people with a very, very short, as I said, man dem faults of football. Man dem fault. You know what I mean? Man dem fault. You know what I mean? You know what I mean, bruv? You know what I mean? To get him out of my club, bruv. You know what I mean? That sort of bruv. And I'm from, you know what I mean? I'm from East London, by the way, so I know I've won. You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, the man dem talk about football, right? When the man dem talk about football, you don't listen. And that's what it is at the end of the day, right? And they don't understand the context of what's going on. I could bring in criticism for Ruben Amorim, but I also can bring in criticism from the board. I also can do that. That's what they're incapable of doing, because they're so focused on the manager. They're so focused on him. Now, look, Ruben Amorim might come out today. He might play Mainu as a midfielder. He might play Bruno as a number 10. He play Ahmed on the wing, and we still get slapped up. Then what do you want him to do? It's the players, they're not good enough. And that's as simple as that. Character, mentality, culture at this football club is on the floor, in the mud. That's what it is at the end of the day. And we you know, and we have to admit that. You know, you can't turn these players into world beaters. They've never been world beaters in their lives. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, the only players like I realistically would keep is only I could count on one hand. You know what I mean? You know, and Bremo and Cunha, Sesko, maybe Yoro, and I'm not mentioning Aiden Heaven and the youngsters and stuff like that. Maybe a Delict and Lemens probably, and that's about it. Where's the rest of the squad? I'm looking at it and I'm being realistic here. You know what I mean? Take it easy, guys. See you for the watch along, my guy. See you for the watch along. Big up yourself. Sal, you just said the other day he starts Mainu in the midfield. Amorim's job will be a lot easier. It will be done, but at the end of the day, you know as well as I do, even if he plays Mainu in the midfield, they're still going to blame him, you know, if they lose the game. And this is the problem at the end of the day, isn't it? You know, this is the way they are. Do you know what I mean? Kenny, wouldn't it be a surprise me if one bit of Shaw starts over Heaven? He will. Of course he will. What a performance from Sunderland from 2-0 down. Yeah, very good. We beat Sunderland, by the way. William, if you don't give the man the tools, he can't do the job. It's just as simple as that, man. You can't make an accurate judgment, not just on Ruben Amorim. You can't make an accurate judgment on a manager until they have been backed. And you can't use the analogy of other managers and stuff like that. You need to look at the manager right now and look at the manager and think, like, this manager plays a distinctive style of play, a different style of play, a completely different style of football. And we haven't backed him with the players. It's like, you know what I mean? You're saying, right, Sal, could you cook me a lasagna? Sal, could you cook me a lasagna? Okay. And you give me a potato and you give me a bag of peas and you give me some carrots. And you say, cook me a lasagna. That's exactly what they're expecting Ruben Amorim to do, right? With this. And this is what they're doing, and I say, how can I cook it? I can do it. I can try and mix this and that and make it into almost a lasagna. I can turn the carrots into mash and do this and that. You know what I mean? But it's not right, is it? It's not going to work, is it? And this is exactly what we've been talking about, It's down to the board to not back in Amram and midfield signing. Absolutely, Kenny. William, it's always the manager, never the owners or the players. It's a joke. Players are owners. And this is Mandem talk, isn't it? This is Mandem, because Mandem don't want to upset the board, because Mandem might get a little pass into the press conference one day, because Mandem want to be famous without talent. So at the end of the day, look, one thing I would say, right, is that I like football opinion from all different sides. I like to be, explored my mind. I like people to explore like my mind and challenge me mentally. I like people to do that. And when I hear, just the manager, okay, your manager, he got that wrong. Okay, yeah, that's right. But what about the thing that's all holding it up? What about that? What about the foundation, the pillars? What about that? What about that? What about the asbestos at the football club at the top? Do you know what I mean? What about that hasn't been cleared and everyone's getting infected with that asbestos? What about that? Why don't we talk about that? But they won't do that, because at the end of the day, what it's all about, manager out, get him out of my football club. He's a fraud, gets clicks, gets likes. Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, Mandem talk, Mandem football opinion. Mandem football opinion is basically the equivalent of a foundation, lower than a foundation level in ABC in regards to football. That's what it is. Listening to Mandem talk. Mandem talk is that. That's what it is at the end of the day. I can get every single one of them on this channel anytime, anywhere, any place. They'll be quiet. I've done it before, right? At the end of the day, right? So I know about this. And all due respect, nothing against them and what they do, and that, great, fantastic. But I'm talking about footballing opinions here, right? They have one view of football here, you know what I mean? But they don't look at that, which is actually the problem. You know what I mean? Actually the problem. It's a bit like putting a plaster on a wound that needs stitches. You know what I mean? It's a bit like that. That is what they are. That's what they do. Igor Thiago is on the next target. Who says, trust me, bruv. How's the manager meant to learn anything with these players on off players? Exactly, man. Side is Amram out. Side is absolutely side should be burgers out. That's what he should be. Dunning, vegetarian lasagna, seriously, perfect day for 433 Mount Casemiro. But it didn't work under Ten Hag, my friend. It won't work today. It's nothing to do with the system. At the end of the day, you can't build a vegetarian. I don't know if you've ever been a chef. You can't make a vegetarian lasagna with carrots, with peas, and a potato. You can't do that, mate. Absolutely not. No. Where's the sauce and all that? Where's that coming from, mate? So look. People that when people talk about the system, it's a very, very flawed argument at the end of the day. Our biggest ever defeats came with a 4-3-3. And I don't want anyone to come on with this system talk again, because it's not the system. It's not. You're still going to have Bruno in the midfield being ill-disciplined, right? You're still going to have players going around the place, all around the place. You know what I mean? It didn't work under Etihad. It's not going to work with this bunch of players. It's the bunch of players. It's nothing to do with the system. The players are not intelligent, and the players are simply not good enough. That is the problem. People mention the system, apart from the Ineos, apart from the Glazer, shouldn't support Man United, because they really don't understand it. You know what I mean? They don't understand it. It's Mandem talk again. It's Mandem talk. I kick football in goal. 4-3-3 will work. Yeah, it's worked on Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, Jose Mourinho, Erik Ten Hag. It's worked on all those managers, isn't it? At the end of the day. 4-3-3, 4-4-4. I mean, buzzwords. I mean, no wonder no one gets anywhere in life, and they just copy everyone else. Buzzwords, buzz formations, blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean? The copy. Mandem talk. You know what I mean? And that's what it is at the end of the day. No disrespect, but that's what it is at the end of the day. You know what I mean? Look, guys, at the end of the day, it's nothing to do with the formation. We'll bring a new manager in. We'll play a 4-3-3, and we'll lose games as well, right? And that's what's going to happen. Whilst these players get older, whilst these players, they're not going to get any better. It's as simple as that. Guys, you know what I mean? Mark Goldberg. Who's Mark Goldberg? Goldberg's a wrestler, mate, fan. 3 points today, boys and girls. Come on, big up, William. Come on, my friend. Absolutely, that's what it's all about. We hope so, my friend. We hope so. Absolutely. There's a few things like, that, you could say. It's nothing to do with formation, right? Number one, it's not. And that's one thing that is Mandem talk again. I'm going to say Mandem talk is the dumbed down version of football. My first football opinion. That's what it is, right? Football for Dummies, the book? And I would say that Ruben is an incredibly intelligent bloke. He knows what he's doing. But the thing is, we don't have the players to play the system. If we had the players, we'd do a lot better. If it doesn't work, we can play a 4-3-3. We play a 4-5-1. We play a 4-2-3-1. Whatever you want to do, bring it on. We've still got the same players there. We still got the ill discipline. We still got the no legs. Still slow. Still going to lose at the end of the day. And that's the one thing I would say about it. Do you know what I mean? Absolutely. Guys, thank you, everyone. What about Mark Goldbridge, fan? What are you talking about, Mark Goldbridge? What about him? Mark Goldbridge is in the middle. Mark Goldbridge criticizes the manager. He's not stupid enough to talk about the tactics or the formation either, but he criticizes the manager, right? And he's in the middle. He's right in the middle. And Mark Goldbridge is not a fake Man United fan, fan. I could say you're a fake Man United fan. Why would you say that Mark Goldbridge is a fake Man United fan? At least he could show pictures to me. Of him in a Man United shirt when he was younger. A lot of people can't do that. I'll guarantee you, a lot of people can't. Sal, can't carry on with Casa and Bruno as a pivot. No, we can't. But who else we got, brother? You're still going to have Casemiro and Bruno as a pivot in the three, right? Because one of those players has to attack. You're still going to have to double pivot. In fact, you can't move to a back five, so we'll be even more exposed. It's been Bagel FC for years, Donnin. It's been Bagel FC for years. Until we got the midfielders there to play it doesn't matter what we play, it's not going to work. What will work for me, right, it's nothing to do with the formation. What will work for me is Mainu and Casemiro or Mainu and Ugarte in that midfield. That's what will make work for me. Nothing to do with tactics, 4-3-3s, 4-2-3-1s. Nothing to do with that. It's to do with the right combination in the midfield, which is Mainu for me and Casemiro. It might not work. Probably won't. But at the end of the day, we have to try something new. We have to try something different, don't we? At the end of the day, that's what we have to do. You know what I mean? We have to try something different. And hopefully Man United just win the game today. All I care about today is winning the game today. We lose the game, then we're going to have to start, with the negativity again and start with what we're going to do next. Because we can't keep losing games. And that's basically what it is. Irfan, do I watch Mark Goldbridge? Mark Goldbridge is a friend of mine, Irfan. I've known him for 7 years, mate. 7 years. There's no need to be jealous of Mark Goldbridge because he's a cheeser. He's actually a proper Man United fan, unlike the man them. You know what I mean? At the end of the day. So he's actually a proper Man United fan. So I'm not going to criticize Mark Goldbridge. And I want to feed into the jealousy that involves Mark Goldbridge because a lot of these people wouldn't have platforms if it wasn't for Mark Goldbridge. Right? And I don't say that as he's never helped me. He's never done anything for me, but I have respect for him. And I'm not going to come on here and talk about Mark Goldbridge and criticize Mark Goldbridge. Why am I going to do that? Why? I actually think he's more of a Man United fan than a lot of these bloody guys who go out there. Do you know what I mean? Who talk about Man United in a very simplistic, dumbed down version. You know what I mean? You need an IQ test after you listen to those guys talking about Manchester United. Do you know what I mean? It's ridiculous. Look, I don't like talking about anyone behind their back. I don't like talking about anyone anyway. But yeah, look, no. At the end of the day, this is exactly what I'm talking about. These days, people don't have the intelligence to form their own opinion. What they do, they learn from buzzwords, they learn from other people, and they copy those people, and they're the wrong influences to have in their lives. Because those people are speaking from a place of anger, are speaking from a place of sinister, and are speaking of a place of bitterness. That's where they're speaking from. So it's very, very important that you don't listen to people that are really couldn't look after themselves, let alone talk about any other people. You know what I mean? At the end of the day. And that's what I would say about that. No disrespect, but that's how we do things here. You know what I mean? I'll call out wrong opinions and stuff like that. But the great thing about footballing opinion, and the most important thing to me about footballing opinion is important. Differences of opinion is important. But it's also important that when you're talking about football, you have angles to every single argument. You don't have just one side of the argument, and you don't just have, the manager out, get him out of my football club, he's a fraud, and that's it. without mentioning the reason and the culprits behind it. You know what I mean? At the end of the day. And this is what we're talking about. And that comes from a place where they don't really care about the club. They care about opinion. And they want the new toy. And when the foundations of the football club are broken. And this is what I'm talking about. You know what I mean? Whilst the foundations are broken, it doesn't matter. Like I said it many times. Man United are like walking into a derelict building, right? We look at this magnificent building, right? We look at the magnificent building and we look at it and we go, nice building, good potential, but it's an absolute derelict. It's got asbestos everywhere, which represents the Glazers and Ineos. It's got asbestos everywhere, and it's broken, and it's to ruins. What they're trying to say is this, right? All we do is buy furniture for that derelict building, and we can live in it. That's what they're doing, right? This is just buy a sofa, buy a TV, buy a cabinet, you know what I mean? And they're saying, right, live in it now. That's what we're living it, you know? So you can mention the Glazers, you can mention Ineos, and you can mention, obviously, Ruben Amram, guys. And basically, there you go. That's what, you know, it's good as long as you have avenues and you have an intelligent argument about everything what's going wrong at the football club. Everything, you know. Eric Ten Hag, no, why? When we got the same owners, mate, it doesn't matter who we put in there. We could put Ancelotti, we could put Klopp, we could put Pep, we could put anyone. Whilst we still got the same ownership, it's going to be the same. And let me just double clarify. Ownership, Ineos, Glazers, the biggest problem at Man United. I think the sooner people put that in their head, the more they become comfortable with that. No matter what manager walks into this football team, they're going to struggle. They're going to struggle. For example, a 4 out of 10 window with a manager with a distinctive style of play. Now, if they were never going to back that manager, why did they bring that manager in? If they were never going to back a manager with a distinctive style of play, a different style of play that Man United had never played, why did they bring that manager in? Why did they do that? Those are the questions that should be asked. Those are the questions that should be asked. When we look at Man United's plan, right? Let's look at Man United's plan. Let's look at from when we got David Moyes to when we got Jose Mourinho, we got Michael Carrick, we got Ryan Giggs, we got Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, we got Eric Ten Hag, we got Ralph Rangnick, we got Ryan Giggs, we got, you know, and now we got Ruben Amram. Every single one of those managers represented something very similar. What is that? That they're not similar. And that's what it is. They're all different. I'm different to you. You're different to me. You're different to... they're all different. There's no road. There's no clear path where you say, this is the target. Like, for example, when I watched Arteta manage, when he first came into Arsenal, and I watched Arteta manage, and I could see a direction. No, not just with the manager, guys. And I know people throw this. It's not just about the manager. I could see a direction where he's getting backed at the same time whilst he's putting his philosophy in place, and he's getting backed at the same time. Players out, players in. Players out, players in. You know what I mean? Ramsdale in, not good enough. Out, Raya in. That's it. Better. Keep going, keep going, keep going. Like that. It's like a machine. Keep moving, keep moving, keep moving, keep moving. Man United are like, you know what I mean? We got oh, we can't move that bolt because that bolt has been there for 30 years. That bolt. We can't move that bolt. No way, we can't do that. And this is the problem at Man United. We're very slow, sluggish, old, everything about Man United. We're not forward thinking as a football club when we need to be forward thinking, guys. Absolutely. Guys, thank you everyone for joining me today. Really appreciate the show. Great chat. Of course, guys, very, very good chat. Great times, great days ahead. Of course, I hope so anyway, guys. See you for the watch along, guys. I will be live, of course, at what it will be the time, 3:30 UK time. I will be live, guys. Absolutely. 3:30 UK time. I believe that's where I think this game kicks off at 6 p.m., doesn't it? In my time. Was it? No, so hold on, guys. So if the game kicks off at 6 for me, 4 hours behind, 2:30 p.m., guys. No, 3:30 p.m. Is it 3:30? 4, 5, 6, 7. So 6, 4, 3:30 p.m., guys. UK time. 3:30 p.m. UK time. I will be here. 4, 5. Hold on, guys. I need to get this right. So if it is UK time, kickoff is at 1:30 p.m. UK time, guys. I will be here 1:30 p.m. See that? confused me there. 1:30 p.m. UK time. I will be, guys. I will be there live, guys. 1:30 p.m. UK time. Don't forget to join me for that for the watch along, guys. It's a must win for Man United. We move on, guys. Big up Ephraim. Take it easy, my friend. Miles, I feel like tell Dan Archeva and just keep it as a monument to the great game. Well, they're going to knock it down anyway and build a circus, ain't they? Apparently. So, guys, thank you, everyone, for joining me. Don't forget to subscribe and smash a like on the video, guys. Is the game at 12, is it? I'm looking at the time now. No, hold on. So, yeah, the game's at 12. Sorry, guys. So, 11:30 a.m. I will be live UK time, guys. 11:30 a.m. Guys, don't listen to me. I'll be here for the Crystal Palace game. That's all you need to know. Listen, I'm in the UAE. It's 12:10 here already. Guys, so 11:30 a.m. for the game, guys. Yeah, look, I'm not used to Man United playing this early. That's the thing. I live in the UAE. So look, guys, look, that's the times. I've got the times. I've got the times up here. Look, I've got the times. And it's showing me, 4 p.m. for me. 4 p.m. Guys, yeah, so 11:30 a.m. UK time, I will be here, guys. Don't forget to join me. That's 12:30 Central European time, by the way. Got that one, didn't I? Guys, thank you, everyone. Enjoy yourself. Big up, everyone. Big up, William. Take it easy, my friend. And, 11:30 a.m. Morning kickoff. Not kickoff, but morning build-up, of course, for you guys. So afternoon build-up for me. Have a great day. Enjoy yourself, and see you soon. See you for the game. Take it easy. Peace.